What's up, everybody? Derek Anderson, the DA, and this is my review of House of the Dragon episode 6, titled The Princess and the Queen. And what can we say about the House of the Dragon, even Game of Thrones? Like, every single episode, we always say, man, shit just got real. You know, every single episode, it seems like it just went to another level that we weren't expecting. And like, now we're all like, oh man, what's gonna happen next? You know, that's the beauty of this show. Gives you something to talk about and really gives you something to look forward to. They do an absolutely perfect job of really building the tension, building the hype, and building the suspense. You can't wait now till episode 7 drops next Sunday. Appointment television, absolutely love it. Another great episode again, well written. The casting change was just 100% seamless. Like, I felt like I was still watching these same characters, but 10 years later, all grown up, more kids a little bit older. Their characters have somewhat changed, but they're changes that you would expect, right? You know, it's definitely right now the best thing going on TV. Let's just go ahead and jump right into the episode. Right off the bat, we see Rhaenyra's giving birth to a third child, and at Alicent's no fool, right? She knows what these kids are supposed to look like when they came out, right? She's giving birth to a lot of these little white-haired little kids. So she's like, bring me the baby and bring him here now. I need to see the white hair on that baby. Okay? And she takes one look and she's like, nope, nope, not going for it, not going for it. And yeah, Viserys is putting on the whole act. You know, they're both putting on an act. Everybody's putting on an act, but everybody knows. By now, they all know. And all the excuses in the world are going to come out, but everybody knows what's up. It's amazing to me that these maesters could come up with some kind of a plan BT, but they couldn't get like some, you know, hey, Rhaenyra, here's a turkey baster. We just want you to drop a little bit in here so we can take care of this. Like, you can't keep it up for like 5 minutes with a woman. Like, it's that bad? I mean, maybe it is. They couldn't even get a turkey baster or something. Make something happen, you know. We got to figure this thing out, because you can't just be laying up in here getting pregnant by some dark-haired dude. That's not going to work. But anyway, okay, now we're moving on with the kids. We're starting to see these young kids starting to come into their own. And right off the bat, I love the character of Jace, okay? You know, they show him in the Dragon's Keep right there, you know, going through his little how to train a dragon mode, you know, learning how to get this dragon to listen to him, do what he says. He's giving them commands. You got the dragon trainers behind him, telling them, hey, this is how you need to do it and everything. I absolutely loved that scene. That was my favorite scene, or one of my favorite scenes in this episode. And the thing I like about Jace is he just seems like he's more willing to be a leader. You know, he just seems like a leader type, you know. Okay, I gotta learn how to do this. Okay, let me learn how to do this, right? I really like this character so far. I mean, you know, out of all of the kids, I like him. The one that's gonna be a problem is Aemond, okay? And you can see this kid is walking around with a chip on his shoulder. You know, he doesn't have a dragon. He seems like the problem child. Nobody likes him. Like the other 3 kids, including his older brother. They don't even like him. They tease him. They make jokes about him, sent him a pig instead of a dragon because he doesn't have a dragon. So yeah, this is gonna be interesting, because anybody walking around with a chip on their shoulder in this type of a show, bad news is coming. All right, so yeah, that whole rivalry between the cousins and all of that, that's going to be a lot of fun to unfold. Rhaenyra, man, she's absolutely making a mockery of the kingdom with all of her antics. Okay, I mean, this chick is just gonna be a problem. And what I like about it is that this character really hasn't grown up in the last 10 years. They didn't show that she's a changed woman. Nope, she's the same person that was smiling and giggling while she was running around with Daemon that one night, okay? She's the exact same person. Different actress, whatever, but she's that same person. And look, this thing isn't a secret. Everybody knows what's going on. So with everything that's happening, she is not going to be seen as a queen that is fit to rule over King's Landing or over Westeros. No way, no how. Alicent, on the other hand, has grown remarkably, right? Like I said, over these last couple of episodes, she's really starting to come into her own. I think it's because she's had to sit and watch what's happened to Viserys, and she's got to hear everything that he's dealing with trying to be a king, keep the kingdom together. She's probably listening in on a lot of the councils, or even just getting information from the Hand. We saw, of course, Larys and how he's been building and slowly working in his particular relationship. So she's starting to be a little bit of a grown-up, and I like her character. I really do. Commanding, forthright, ain't messing around, and still wearing that green dress. Very important. She's still rocking that green dress everywhere she goes. She hasn't forgotten. You can really see this with Alicent and Criston Cole, you know, now Criston's over in Alicent's camp because she basically saved his life, like not once but twice, and probably even 3 times. And she's coming to him for advice, saying, hey, look, we got to believe that somewhere down deep, the decency and honor will ultimately prevail. Man, I don't know what they talking about. I've seen this show, okay? Well, not the House of the Dragon, but I saw Game of Thrones. Honor and decency don't work in Westeros, not at all, okay? That stuff is going to get you killed. So yeah, I don't think honor and decency are going to take the day, but they're keeping their heads smart. Like Rhaenyra left a hole in Criston Cole's heart, man. Like he doesn't care about her at all. Like in last episode, you could kind of say, hey man, she still got some feelings. They have 10 years later, all of that stuff is completely dissolved. And then we find Aegon jacking off outside the window. I know everybody was losing it on that scene, man. Everybody was watching it like, oh hell no. Oh my god, what the heck? That was hilarious, man. Everybody, oh, it's the same window as Tommen, you know, and maybe it is. I don't think it is, but maybe it is. It could have been. I mean, it was kind of the same framing of the shot and everything, so that obviously brings you back to that moment. So I thought that was pretty funny. And Alicent walks in on him, you know, which has to be funny, but she doesn't even skip a beat. Hey, get down here, I need to talk to you. All right, do you realize that you're going to be the king someday, okay? Like, your name is literally Aegon, okay? Everybody remembers Aegon 1. You're Aegon 2. They are going to want to see you be the king. They are going to make you the king one way or the other, okay? He says, well, I won't challenge her. I said, no, you don't understand. You are the challenge, right? You are the challenge off rip. Like, it doesn't even matter if you say anything. You're the challenge. The people are going to try to put you on the throne. So the fact that he don't understand this, and he's got to be like, what, 13 or 14 by now? The fact that he doesn't understand this, man, this kid is not bright, okay? He's not the brightest bulb in the box. He's probably going to be one of the more stupider people in this particular series. He's just trying to goof around and have a good time and all that kind of stuff. I get it. But yeah, not fit to rule himself, okay? So if they're going to try to make this guy king, this guy's going to end up getting killed. I can already tell. This kid is not going to make it. And then meanwhile, you got Daemon, right? I actually liked where Daemon was at. Like, I was feeling good about his situation. He's with Lady Laena. They're married. They got a couple of kids. I'm like, oh man, look. And he's just enjoying himself. He's toasting, hey, to Aegon. You know, he's toasting and enjoying himself. He's kicking it with the Prince of Pentos, you know. And he said, hey man, come on in to my lair. You could be a lord. Just hang out with us. We'll take all of your dragons. We'll use your dragons in this war because the war in the Stepstones has started up again. So we'll be using your dragons in the war. Everything seems like it's going to be good, solid. Yes, thank you. Okay, this is where we need to be. Daemon seems to be like, yes, I'm enjoying this. I like this. This is where I want to be. A nice, pleasant life, fit for a guy of my stature, you know. Seems like he's happy for the first time in his life too. But Laena approaches him, says, hey, no, I'm not trying to stay here. I want to go back to King's Landing. I want to be with my brother. I want to be with my family. That's where I want to go, okay? And Daemon's like, nah. I'm staying right here. And even though she mentions that, you know, all you've been doing is just sitting up here looking over the old archives, reading about your family and the great members of your family, that's all you've been doing over here, right? And I think like what she was kind of hinting at is that, yeah, Daemon, you just kind of want to be the king, like, because you're looking over the greatness of your family and you're hearing all of this stuff, but here you are sitting up in some lord's castle. I just interpret that as the character who really isn't going to get what he wants to get out of that situation. Like, he's not going to get anything out of being the member of the Targaryen household. There's now not one but 2 potential heirs standing in his way. He would have to wipe out both of them to get the throne, okay? So that's probably not going to be a good scenario for him. So he's like, you know what? I'm just going to leave it all alone. I can't have what I want, so I'm going to move away from it. That's how I interpret it. I could be wrong. But then we switch back to King's Landing. Criston Cole, man, this dude is, he a cold piece right now, man. He's like, oh, okay, I'm going to take out all of my frustrations and anger about Rhaenyra and all of the nonsense that I see her doing with this dude, Larys Strong. I'm going to take all of this out on his kids, right? So he gets Aegon, hey man, go ham on this dude, man. Attack him. Don't let him up. Keep him down. Use your feet. You know, it's like he's booting his kid and slacking him around with that little wooden sword. And, you know, finally, you know, Harwin comes in and says, hey, what's going on here? This is how you're going to do stuff or whatever. And then, of course, Criston Cole, unable to hold back, just says, oh, you seem to be taking a lot of interest in this kid. That'd be something like, you know, a brother or maybe a cousin. Or maybe a son. Oh boy. I tell you, man, I laughed that whole time because I knew that he was just egging this dude on and he wanted him to punch him, because that was the ultimate admission of guilt, okay? The fact that he said son, you didn't say nothing about the other. You didn't even budge when you said, you know, cousin or friend or brother or whatever. You didn't budge. But the moment you said son, he turns around, cold cocks him and starts beating the shit out of him. And it's like, okay, that's all they needed, man. That's all they needed. And then the very next scene, you see Larys Strong going, what the hell was you thinking, man? You just practically admitted that that's your kid. Like, in the most honest and passionate way possible, you just admitted that was your son. Are you kidding me? Man, you messed it all up now. We got to get out of here. You know? And so, yeah, that's exactly what happened. He goes to the king. He says, hey, I need to resign, man. I'm sorry. I can't do this no more. And because Viserys knows what's going on. He just wants people to be honest, okay? That's the thing I like about Viserys' character. He's like, tell me the truth, right? And the crazy thing is the only person that told him the truth was Otto. And he rejected Otto's truth because he didn't want to hear it, okay? But everybody else, it seems like he wants the truth, but he knows that people are kind of afraid to tell him the truth, right? Just kind of like how Larys Strong was. He didn't want to tell him the truth. So he says, all right, cool, you're still the hand, all right? And he says, well, let me get my kid out of here. Let me take him back to Harrenhal. Now, automatically you knew, as soon as he said that, and then Alicent goes in and starts talking to Larys and saying, hey, yeah, they're going back to Harrenhal, you know, because, you know, that's, you know, they just want that to happen. I wish I had people on my side. You know, this guy's not on my side. He's on the side of the king and the kingdom, but he's not on my side to prove what Rhaenyra has been doing this whole time. And he knows, and everybody knows, but nobody wants to say it. And I'm the one that had to stick my neck out on the line, and I dissed my father so that this little she-harpy could hang around here and still be the heir to the throne, number one. But then number two, just disrespecting everything that we've already set up. Man, she's hot. She's hot. And Larys is like, I got you. Don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it. And off he goes. Oh, man. One of the coldest things in the world, man. First of all, cutting them dudes' tongues off. I don't know if I could deal with that stuff, man. That's, yeah, you know what? You're locked up. You're going to be hung. Hang me. You know what? I did it. Hang me. Cutting off my tongue. Like, do I want to continue to live without my tongue? Ooh. I don't know about that. That whole scene gave me the willies, you know? But then the fact that after that, he gets these guys that can't talk, right? They can't fess up anything that they know. Their tongues are gone. So now this guy's got his perfect little suicide squad. He can send them out on missions and do all that kind of stuff. Oh, man. And first mission, of course, hey, go kill my dad and my brother, you know? Kill my dad and my brother. They got to get up out of here. Awesome scene, man. But then it kind of ends, well, towards the end, we got that sad note where Laena's giving birth, right? Laena's giving birth, and man, childbirth is depicted so very well with this show. The childbirth of that time, right? You know, it was like literally a 50-50 coin flip. Like, you might live, you might die. We don't know, okay? Makes you really appreciate modern medicine, okay, where 50-50 chances really ain't the situation for most births. Laena ends up on the wrong side of that 50-50 flip, and yeah, the baby's not coming out. She's going to die more than likely. They may be able to save the baby, but she's going to be gone. It's the same kind of situation that Viserys was, you know, dealing with in episode 1, right? Do I keep the baby, lose my wife? The wife doesn't look like the wife. She's not going to make it, you know? So, you know, they have to make a decision, but instead she goes and makes the decision because earlier in the episode, she said she wanted to die a dragon rider's death. So she walks right on out to her dragon, Vhagar. And yeah, she says, hey, Dracarys, you know, light me up, you know, so she can die that dragon rider's death. And Daemon's too late to get out there and save her. He just watches her burn up, man. I'm like, man, that had to really mess with his head at that point, man. That had to really mess with his head. Rhaenyra now is in a really interesting situation, you know, because, and I don't know if she's going to be able to easily slide her way through this one. Because she's off to Dragonstone. At first, she wasn't trying to leave. She wasn't trying to go back to war or deal with any of that. She's telling Laenor, we're staying here and we're going to present a united front for this family. We're not just simply going to walk away from this thing, okay? That's what she tells them, all right? But then after the news comes out, she's like, all right, let's get up out of here. You know, not only are the rumors bad and really hurting me, but now the kid's father is absolutely dead. I don't know how that's going to play itself out. So she had to get up out of there. And now she's back at Dragonstone. Laenor gets to go off to war with his boyfriend. I'm sure he's going to be happy about that. It's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out. Because right now, you know, Rhaenyra's in a bad spot. All right, folks, so here we go with the House of the Dragon game board, and Alicent has risen all the way to the very top. I think she's in the strongest position of any character in this particular show at the moment. Of course, that can always change in a heartbeat. She can all the way drop all the way down to the bottom and up off the board maybe. But nevertheless, this episode, even with the last episode, showing a lot of strength. Not playing these games with these guys anymore, and that was important. You know, Alicent showing that she can get a little nasty and devious as well. You know, basically pulling, you know, Rhaenyra's card. Hey, come on in here and let me see that kid's hair. You know, that was a power play. That was a huge move. Just right there in front of her father, so she could see it. And then her father, he can try to tap dance around it all he wants to. But yeah, I think Alicent showing some strength is a very good move for the show. And now she has Rhaenyra off to Dragonstone. She's got Otto coming back. Her father's coming back to lend his support. She still has Larys, you know, the snake that he is, but he seems to be on her side, at least for now. So she's in a pretty strong, powerful position. And she can probably start working on Aegon now and say, hey, Aegon, come here. I need to start teaching you how to be a king. And that's exactly what Otto is. Otto helped Viserys become king. He'll help his grandson also pull off that same feat. So interesting to see how that works. Still got all of Old Town backing her. Yeah, Alicent's in a good spot. Rhaenyra back to Dragonstone, and that's probably not going to be a good thing, at least in her eyes, but her own actions have kind of left her with that uncomfortable position. Now that Lionel's gone, they're going to get a new hand. It's going to be Otto, and Otto is going to definitely be pushing to make sure that she is exposed in every way, shape, and form possible, okay? That's what he did before. That's how he got kicked out of there, right? And now coming back at the behest of Alicent, Viserys is probably just going to have to be, hey, shut up. I don't want to hear from you right now, okay? You've already let things get messed up this far. We got to get this thing on track. So I think Alicent will get some support from Viserys if things go well. But right now, yeah, Rhaenyra's in a bad spot. I don't know how. She's still in the second strongest spot, but it's not a good spot to be in because Alicent is so strong right now. And then, of course, Otto. Otto re-enters the game. He's on the board back again. Otto re-enters the game board at least, and he's in a very solid position if he's coming back as the hand of the king. Now that Lionel Strong is toasted up over there in Harrenhal, I think Otto is in a really good spot. I'm not sure, however, if, you know, he plays more favorably for Alicent or if he actually plays more favorably for Aegon, you know, because he's going to be teaching Aegon. You have to assume, hey, here's how you're going to be as a king, okay? He's going to teach his grandson the tricks of the trade. So if that's the case, right now, number one, that's going to play very well again for Alicent. Not so well for Rhaenyra, but what it also does is it gives him the safest hand on the board. He's going to be safe as a dog because, yeah, you can't get rid of this guy now. This is Alicent's father. You don't have a hand anymore, and there's all kind of turmoil going on with your daughter. You know, you might need to, yeah, kind of lean in to this particular piece here, Viserys, but we'll see what happens. Everybody else just kind of falls in line behind them. Not really sure what's going on with Corlys and Rhaenys right now. You got to figure that they're not very happy. Like, this whole hookup between their kid and Rhaenyra has absolutely led to 0 heirs. They have no bloodline in the line of the throne, okay? I mean, this dude Strong has the bloodline in there. So yeah, and they could try to fake the funk all they want to and make up all kind of stories. Everybody knows, so they can't be too pleased about what's happening there. On the other hand, Daemon and their daughter Laena just died giving birth, and you know, now Daemon seems like that he's probably going to just be making his way back to King's Landing. You know, why not? At this point, there's no purpose of sitting out here hanging out on Pentos by himself, so he might as well just go on back and see what kind of trouble he can get into. All right, Daemon, we gave you the episode off. You was a nice guy. We enjoyed you. Hey, I hope you had a good time. All right, come on back. Let's see what trouble we can get into. But yeah, so I think that's where everything is at. Viserys, man, we're just kind of waiting for this guy to completely disintegrate, man. He's just been falling apart ever since the first episode. And it's, you know, it's like, all right, man, I think it's about time. I don't know when he goes. I don't know if it's episode 7 or 8, or maybe he lasts through the rest of the season, but I think this guy is on his last absolute legs. Once he's gone, that's when everything really takes off. I'm expecting episode 9 to be that point when he dies and then just shit really hits the fan. But we'll have to see. Anyway, folks, what did you think about House of the Dragon episode 6? Man, another great one, a banger as usual. Go ahead, get down in the comments, give me your thoughts and your opinions on that. And thanks for watching. See you next time.